The Arctic Star was a sturdy commercial crab boat that sailed the treacherous waters of the Bering Sea, captained by the weathered but respected Sam O'Donnell. Sam and his crew were seasoned fishermen, enduring long, freezing nights and relentless waves for the lucrative king crab. But in the winter of 2023, their journey took an unexpected and dangerous turn that would change their lives and their fortunes forever. The Arctic Star set off from Dutch Harbor under a shroud of fog. The crew, consisting of burly men with faces etched by salt and wind, were prepared for another grueling season. Among them were Jake, the ship's first mate, Old Pete, the grizzled deckhand, and Tom, the greenhorn eager to prove himself. As they sailed farther from shore, strange things began to happen. Gear went missing, and odd noises echoed through the ship at night. At first, the crew dismissed these incidents as pranks or the product of an overactive imagination. But when Jake found deep, muddy footprints on the deck one morning, a sense of unease settled over the crew. "What kind of animal could get on board out here?" Tom asked, his eyes wide with fear. Old Pete shook his head. "Not an animal, boy. Something else." The mystery deepened until one stormy night when the crew's worst fears were confirmed. Sam, performing a routine check, stumbled upon a hulking figure in the shadows of the hold. It was covered in thick fur, standing nearly 9 feet tall. The creature turned, and Sam's heart skipped a beat as he faced the glowing red eyes of a Bigfoot. Sam sounded the alarm, and the crew rushed to the hold, armed with whatever they could find: knives, crowbars, even fishing spears. The Bigfoot roared, a sound that reverberated through the metal hull and sent chills down their spines. "Stay together," Sam ordered, his voice steady despite the terror coursing through him. The Bigfoot charged, and chaos erupted. Jake swung his crowbar, striking the creature but barely slowing it down. Old Pete jabbed with his spear, only to be swatted aside like a rag doll. Tom, trembling, managed to slash at the beast with a knife, drawing blood. The confined space of the hold worked against the creature, limiting its movements. Sam took advantage of this, leading a coordinated attack. The crew, driven by fear and desperation, struck relentlessly. Finally, with a harrowing scream, the Bigfoot fell, collapsing onto the cold metal floor. Panting and covered in sweat, the crew stared at the lifeless body. "What do we do with it?" Tom asked, his voice shaking. Sam, ever the pragmatist, wiped his brow. "We make the best of it. We use it." The crew worked quickly, cutting up the Bigfoot and mixing its flesh with their usual bait. The smell was pungent, almost unbearable, but they pressed on, hoping this desperate gamble would pay off. They set the traps and lowered them into the icy depths, then waited. To their astonishment, when they hauled up the pots, they were overflowing with crabs, more than any of them had ever seen. The Bigfoot bait had attracted an unprecedented number of crabs. "Looks like we struck gold," Jake said, grinning despite the horror of their recent encounter. The crew's excitement grew with each haul, as pot after pot yielded record-setting catches. The Arctic Star's hold filled with crabs faster than they could process them. The men worked tirelessly, their fatigue overshadowed by the sheer magnitude of their success. Back in Dutch Harbor, the crew celebrated their remarkable season, but they knew they had to keep their secret. Over beers and laughter, Sam made them swear an oath. "No one breathes a word about the Bigfoot," he said, his tone deadly serious. "If anyone asks, we just had a lucky run." The crew agreed, understanding the implications. Word of such a discovery could bring unwanted attention and jeopardize their newfound fortune. As the celebrations died down, Sam, Jake, Old Pete, and Tom huddled together. "We need to think about next season," Sam said. "Do we go hunting?" The idea hung in the air, heavy with promise and peril. After a long silence, Old Pete spoke up. "It's risky, but we've seen what that bait can do. If we can get more." The decision was made. They would venture into the Alaskan wilderness before the next crab season, seeking another Bigfoot to secure their super bait. Months passed, and the time for their expedition arrived. Armed with rifles, traps, and a determination born of their previous success, the crew set out into the dense, snow-covered forests. The terrain was unforgiving, and the search proved grueling. Days turned into weeks with no sign of the elusive creatures. The crew's spirits began to wane, but Sam kept them focused. "We know they're out here. We just need to find them." One night, as they camped by a frozen river, they heard it, the same eerie roar that had haunted their dreams. Hearts pounding, they followed the sound, moving cautiously through the trees. In a clearing, they saw them, a pair of Bigfoots, larger than the one they had killed, foraging near the riverbank. The crew readied their rifles, aiming carefully. "Remember, we need them alive," Sam whispered. "We can't risk damaging the bait." With precise shots, they tranquilized the creatures. The Bigfoots roared in fury, but the tranquilizers quickly took effect, and the beasts collapsed. Transporting the sedated Bigfoots back to the Arctic Star was no small feat, but the crew managed with ingenuity and brute strength. They repeated their grisly process, using the new Bigfoot flesh as bait. As they set sail for the new season, a sense of anticipation buzzed among the crew. When they pulled up the first pots, their gamble paid off once more. The crabs they hauled in were even more abundant than before, the Bigfoot bait proving to be an unmatched attractant. News of their phenomenal catches spread through the fishing community, but the crew of the Arctic Star kept their secret, attributing their success to luck and skill. Years passed, and the Arctic Star continued to dominate the crab fishing industry. The crew's pre-season Bigfoot hunts became a dangerous but necessary tradition, their secret known only to those who dared to join their ranks. Each member of the crew carried the weight of their pact, knowing the consequences of breaking it. The legend of the Arctic Star grew, a tale whispered in hushed tones in port taverns but never truly believed. Sam, now an old man, looked out over the Bering Sea, reflecting on the strange and perilous journey that had brought them such fortune. The legacy of their secret hunts would continue, as long as there were men willing to brave the wilderness and face the monsters within. And so, the Arctic Star sailed on, its hold filled with the bounty of the sea and the secrets of the land, a testament to the daring and determination of those who sought their fortune in the most unlikely of places.